Match day one, let's try get a draw. You understand? Let's not try and go get 3 points from the goal, because these guys are used to this competition. They're used to this format. They're used to the opponent. I mean, look at Al Ahly. They came to South Africa, you understand, to play Orlando Pirates. As much as South Africans wanted Orlando Pirates to win that match, Al Ahly knew that a point is a win in this match, because we'll go win it at home. Our fans, our stadium, our noise will win it there.
Great run. He pulls it back. Rasmus Højlund. Thunderous. It's an absolute net buster.
Hello, welcome to this week's exciting episode of the Diski Preview Show. Your host, yours truly, uThidsha weDiski. I'm not riding solo. I'm going with the forever reliable Umo.
So sign.
Yes.
Confuse the enemy.
But you don't confuse them. Because you're so spot on that they know exactly what to expect from you. And it happens that way, Mo.
I can already hear the comment section, but when are we agent?
Yeah. You know
everywhere.
You know exactly what's happening. Mo can see the future. Before we continue with this beautiful conversation that we have lined up, just a reminder, if you don't have a Betfred account, simply take out your phone, go and open that account and get up to 500 free spins and up to 5,000 deposit match and start betting
immediately. And that's not all. We have other promotions that are going on the website, including price boosts. So if you want a little boost on your soccer or sports bets, make sure to go to betfred.co.za, go to the soccer page, check out for price boosts. We might have something there just for you.
Just for you. And on today's episode, we're going back to the CAF Champions League, the biggest tournament on the African soil.
Yeah.
We're featuring, once again, Orlando Pirates, who have made a trip to Ivory Coast. They're playing Stade Abidjan. And in our second game, we have Mamelodi Sundowns, who host Raja Casablanca, a team from Morocco. Exciting games.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a very big one. Very excited about it, but we'll talk about it as we get into the show.
Let's get into our games. Now on to our first game in the CAF Champions League. We're looking at Group C, where Stade Abidjan, a team from Ivory Coast, will be hosting the Buccaneers. That is Orlando Pirates, a team from South Africa. Pirates find themselves second spots, yet to lose a game. They have a win and a draw. On the other hand, Stade Abidjan find themselves bottom of the league. I mean,
bottom of the group, yeah.
To be fair, as expected, 2 games, 2 losses. However, we must say they were able to score 2 goals past Al Ahly, who are the group leaders, and they only lost by a narrow goal to CR Belouizdad.
Yeah.
How do you think this game will turn out?
There's a lot for them to consider in terms of what they can achieve, in terms of what's left in this group for them. This match will define whether or not they can kiss Africa goodbye. Do they go back to focusing on the domestic game, which at this moment is looking highly likely, because if you look at where they are in the group right now, goal difference of -3, they have 2 losses in a row. They've lost to Al Ahly and Belouizdad, and obviously when you're living on that side of the equator, you know, South African football teams like Orlando Pirates are not quite as big in your mind. As much as we're sitting here saying, no, hey man, from Ivory Coast, we're used to ASEC mimosas, you understand? So we're seeing Stade Abidjan. They're from the Ivory Coast. They finished second last season. They were just 5 points off the top in terms of finishing as champions. So they're a team that last season was doing great. But this season, you look at them, they're sitting in the top 6. They're sitting with 10 points. They're sitting with 10 games played, 10 goals conceded, 9 goals scored. So they haven't found their feet this season. I mean, they're conceding more than they've scored in both tournaments, in the league and in the CAF Champions League. So for them, it's a conversation of, do you still want to go all out like they did on day one against Al Ahly? They tried to fix it against Belouizdad, but it tells you one thing about them as a team. They're not at a stage where they can do tournament management. Game management is one thing where you're like, okay, we're going to go in here, we're going to try our best to win this game. Once we get a goal, we're going to hang back. But tournament management is understanding that it's too early for you to try and beat a Belouizdad. You understand? Let's try draw with Al Ahly on match day one. Let's try get a draw. You understand? Let's not try and go get 3 points from the goal, because these guys are used to this competition. They're used to this format. They're used to the opponent. I mean, look at Al Ahly. They came to South Africa, you understand, to play Orlando Pirates. As much as South Africans wanted Orlando Pirates to win that match, Al Ahly knew that a point is a win in this match, because we'll go win it at home. Our fans, our stadium, our noise will win it there. But now we're going to Orlando. We're flying 12 hours. I don't know how long it takes from Egypt to South Africa. From Cape to Cairo, they fly. They arrive here. They know that they're facing one of the best teams in the country, South Africa. So what do they want to do? They don't want to come in and risk it all because they're looking at the overall group structure. You understand? You don't want to go in and you don't want to risk it all. You go in, you get your point against Orlando Pirates, then you worry about Stade Azerbaijan in match day 4 again. You understand? So reality is a lot of things have to be considered from Stade Azerbaijan's standpoint. By looking at their league at the moment and looking at their group stages at the moment, it gives me the opinion that they don't know how to manage their tournaments at the moment. So they feel maybe the coach feels overwhelmed by having to manage players, injuries, on top of that CAF Champions League schedule, on top of that domestic schedule, games being cancelled, preparing for opponents that are used to playing at this level, and also they drew the short stick. They're in a group with 3 of the best teams in Africa, so you can't really blame them right now for where they sit. Maybe another group, maybe they would have been luckier.
Yeah, maybe they would have been luckier. 80% of our viewers are yet to subscribe. So guys, thank you for the support. Thank you for watching these videos. But please, if you're not one of the members, please go ahead and click on the subscription button. And if you're enjoying Mo's bombs, you know Mo, he's always leaving bombs. Click on the like button.
Yeah.
Continuing with the journey, Mo.
Yeah, so, yeah.
You want to say something?
You were saying continue with the journey?
No, I'm saying Stade Abidjan. We always talk about, players being jet lags, long trips, and Stade Abidjan is home against Orlando Pirates. Do you think that works in their favor?
Yeah, I think it does work in their favor, but I don't think it will change a great deal for them because they were at home against Belouizdad, and all that produced was that they were able to lose by 1-0.
That's a great result.
Which is a great result. But also the reality is that you're not used to this caliber of opponent arriving at your doorstep. You understand? And one thing about Africa is different, man. The pitches are not the same as Europe. Europe, everyone looks like they have the same pitch. You understand? In Africa, figure sometimes, we're not saying but sometimes you figure and you find that the grass is not is patchy. Like remember when Bafana played against Rwanda, and we got there and it looked like it was AstroTurf, and the ball was just fast.
Exactly. I mean, the coach went over to say they couldn't play.
So that's Africa for you. So but Orlando Pirates might get there. They might find the pitch is unplayable. They might get there and find that the atmosphere is unplayable. I remember in 2012 when Orlando Pirates made it to the final against Al Ahly in the CAF Champions League, and at home they held their own. I mean, Orlando Pirates was like they took a lead, I think, into the second leg. But once they got there, the stadium atmosphere, there's flares burning, there's noise, people are hitting drums, there's vuvuzelas. Next thing, there's lasers in the players' eyes. You understand? When you lose that kind of match, you're like, I understand. This is Africa, chief. It's not the glitz and glam of Europe where everyone is behaving, they throw bananas every once in a while. Here there's flares, here there's noise, here there's lasers. It's a different ballgame. I mean, even in Senegal, when they played the CAF Africa Cup of Nations final against Egypt, where Mo Salah was lasered in the eyes, and then people were like, Mo Salah lost that title because they lasered his eyes. It's a reality in Africa. So for Orlando Pirates as well, they haven't been at this stage for a very long time. This is going to be a big test for them because now they're going to play a game outside of their comfort zone. They are now traveling again to Ivory Coast, another country. Obviously, they did travel to Belouizdad, but now they're going to the Ivory Coast. It's a different animal altogether. But I think now that they've got some skin in the game, they have an idea of what they're doing. And the thing is, they have a good record. So far, unbeaten in the season. In this competition, in this group. 1 win, 1 draw. And then a draw against Al Ahly is as good as a win, in my opinion.
But you're playing home.
Yeah. But how big an advantage is it if you have no wins in your last 4, you have 3 straight losses across all competitions, and those losses include a loss at home, which is 2 losses at home back to back now. So they lost at home against Belouizdad, obviously the CAF Champions League, but then they lost against another opponent in the Ivory Coast before that game. And the game before that obviously was Al Ahly. 4 games without a win, meaning that they also drew in their own domestic league just before they played the CAF Champions League matches. So they're not in a good spirit. They're not in a good space. And this is funny because before that they went on a game of 4 games unbeaten, all wins. So is it a matter of now the challenge of the CAF Champions League was coming? Coach made changes, tried to rotate players, and then next thing you know, there goes the form. But right now, they're in terrible form. So it's not just about playing at home. It's about the fact that your form is horrible, you are new to the competition, you're struggling domestically, you're struggling on the continent, and now you're going to face an Orlando Pirates that's not struggling at all.
Yeah, I mean, with those facts that you just mentioned, Orlando Pirates is definitely looking forward to this game. Stade Abidjan being the weakest team in this group. And it's a must-win game for Orlando Pirates. This reason why I say that is they're very closely contested. Remember, Pirates and Al Ahly, they're both on 4 points, and then you have Belouizdad on 3 points.
Yes.
So Pirates must actually win this game to stand on on 7 points.
Yeah, bro.
So that they know when later on they face Al Ahly, at least they can fight for a draw. Because if they drop points in this game, it becomes more difficult. It's going to be more difficult playing Belouizdad and Al Ahly in the next fixtures.
I mean, the last thing you want is to rely on favors from other teams at the end of the group stages for you to go through. And the reality is that at this moment in time, you're looking at Safa and what they've done for Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns and Stellenbosch as well. They've postponed 4 games. 4 games.
Yeah.
They've postponed just for these guys to go play in the CAF Champions League.
And I think it's showing. I mean, the way the boys are playing, you can see they're hungry.
Yeah.
Pirates, I mean, the last game they drew against Al Ahly, but they created numerous chances. I think they deserve to win that game.
But don't forget, also with them, they still have no losses in their last 2. They have 1 win in their last 3, which is the win against Belouizdad 2-1. They have the loss against Stellenbosch 1-0. Then they also follow that up with a draw against Al Ahly. So for them, it's a matter of you need to get a win. You need to make the statement to say we have 2 wins in this competition. Al Ahly have to beat Belouizdad. Yes, you did it, but it was match day 1. Like I always said, it's match day 1. You have played the prep game, so your mindset is already playing in Africa. Belouizdad is walking in and So at the end of the day, it's going to be a big game nonetheless. I mean, Stade Abidjan, like you said, they're home. They'll be unpredictable. They'll be confident. They might also feel like if they lose this game, the competition is gone, so they might hold nothing back. They might want to run at Orlando Pirates, but it will test the quality of Orlando Pirates now. Orlando Pirates just need to go there and try and collect all 3 points.
Before we wrap it up, last game, Orlando Pirates played without Patrick Masanganye.
Yeah.
Was it a different Orlando Pirates? Does Pirates need Masanganye or they have enough?
It's not that they don't need him, but like I said, Jose Riviero has done a great job at Orlando Pirates in terms of the system he's put together. I think for him, sometimes he doesn't want to give all his best cards up front. You understand? Players like that you don't need in a match day 2, because if you think about it, he's either chasing records. If he's not chasing records, you can't risk him getting injured. You understand? Especially against a big team like Al Ahly, because you know they'll play physical football. So you rather keep him safe, because now you have 4 games postponed in the league. You're still going to need him in the long run. You're still going to need him for all these Nedbank Cups that are coming now in January. You understand? So Nedbank Cup is coming. You have CAF Champions League that you're still playing in. You still want to compete for the league title. So players like Patrick Masanganye also need a break sometimes. You understand? Even if it's a matter of like, no, he's injured, he needs like 2 weeks, or even if he's not injured, you just need to rest him sometimes. And also when you're playing against Al Ahly, you don't want to go on the front foot and chase the goals. You want to say, okay, fine, if the goal comes, it comes. But for now, we just want to play a safe game. So that's what I'm saying. For both sides against Al Ahly versus Orlando Pirates, if you watch the match, it was quite a safe game.
Safe?
It's safe.
Yeah, Pirates was all over, man.
Yeah, I mean, being all over doesn't necessarily mean that you're creating the best chances to score goals.
They did, but
because football goes left to right, you understand? You are asking about Masanganye for a reason.
And is the impact player there?
Exactly.
So my question,
if you are saying
indirectly, my question was: do you think if Masanganye was there, Pirates was going to win that match?
They would have scored goals.
But
ask yourself this: a player like that. So, for example, a player like that obviously is going to create a lot of chances, but is he going to give you as much work defensively? You understand? That's the thing that people sometimes forget about forwards. I mean, you're looking at right now the global conversation around Darwin Núñez. People are saying Darwin Núñez is not playing good. He's not the right guy for Liverpool. He's not scoring goals. Salah is scoring all the goals. What happens if Salah doesn't score goals? What's going to happen to the team? People like that, players like that, you put them in when you're like, I just need to defend from up front. Because sometimes you're looking at them, you're saying, hey, Al Ahly is dangerous, ngale right back. So I need to put someone there who'll shadow him also defensively. You understand? They're dangerous with the holding midfielder. I need to put in a number 10 who's going to put in the legwork to mark him. Not necessarily always put in your best creative player. Because like I said, Jose Riviero is looking at the tournament. He's looking at the group. He's looking at who's in the group. He's looking at how can I get as far as possible on the group? How can I put it in a position that favors me in this group? So a win against Al Ahly, yes, it's great. It's fantastic. But at the same time, it's not the result you need right now. Because right now, you're ready, number one. You and Al Ahly don't have a loss in the group stages. Right? Who has a loss? Belouizdad. And you gave them that loss. So already you have 1 up on Belouizdad. All they need now is 1 up on Stade Abidjan. Then those 2 spots they can fight for. They can fight to say now, okay, cool. When we go back to Al Ahly now, we can go get all 3 points. But the thing is, you don't want to risk it all, get nothing, and then you find yourself knocked out of the group. It's 4 games. I mean, it's 6 games. So it's too early for you to gamble. So rather play it safe, rather play it more control. If you get the goals, fantastic. If you don't get the goals, just don't concede. So that's the thing. So if you don't concede, successful. I think if you look at Jose Riviera and you ask him, what do you think of that game? He'll complain, but he'll tell you he's happy with the result because it still puts him where he wants to be in the top 2. If he went all out against El Ahly, it's too soon. It's not a knockout game. So if you go all out now, what if you go all out, you score 1, they score 1. You score 2, they score 2. Because now, if you take your gloves off, they'll take their gloves off. Yes, then Upesi will come from the bench, which they started with Pesi on the bench. Yes, then. So they also were saying, we don't really want the goals right now. Because if they really wanted the goals, they could have said Pesi, okay, call again.
Oh, so...
But NZPs.
Oh, Pesi is the one with the goals that Al-Ahly.
That's all I'm saying. Because, look, it's one of those things. Both these teams are cup specialists. Al-Ahly is a CAF Champions League specialist. Orlando Pirates have proved that in cup matches they understand what they're doing. So I understood from that perspective that Jose Riviera is not going to go in there and put his best attacking players and go all out in attack. He's going to want to balance it out and say, hey, gents, as long as we walk away in a clean sheet, or at least as long as we walk away in a draw. And that's exactly what happened.
I see Vali more. Here on the block. Who's taking the 3 points?
Prediction in this one. I think Stade Abidjan will suffer another defeat, 3rd defeat in a row. I don't think it will be a heavy defeat. I think it will be a very marginal defeat, maybe by 1 goal. Or maybe if it's good for Pirates by 2 goals. The goals I think will come late. I think it will be a very cagey match at the beginning as both teams try to figure each other out. Orlando Pirates trying to figure out the playing surface. Instead trying to settle to the environment. Another thing that I forgot to mention, people don't quite speak about the accommodation in Africa. But we've heard so many footballing legends complain about, especially on podcasts now because they have the voice, about traveling to Africa. That sometimes you get the Agna pass. Sometimes you get the guys sleeping in a Motswab's
But
hotel.
I think it's improved. I think more that's in the past. It's improved.
Saying that it was in the past, but Nigeria slept on the floors there at the airport not so long ago. But all I'm saying is, all these things are contributing factors. You understand? It's not natural now where you have aircon. Sometimes you don't figure out. But yeah, back to the conversation. I do think that this will end with a marginal win for Orlando Pirates.
Marginal win.
Yeah.
Guys, you heard Mo. He's saying that it will end with the marginal win for Orlando Pirates. Do you disagree or do you agree with Mo on this prediction? And you've been accurate lately.
And also, after you disagree with me, make sure to come back after the match in the comment sections.
What a moment. I'm seeing a lot of goals here.
From
I'm seeing
Orlando Pirates
over 2.5.
Yeah.
I mean, Mfukeng hasn't scored in this tournament. Are you aware that Mfukeng hasn't scored in this tournament?
Yeah, Mo.
Uma Khopa hasn't scored. Uma Basa hasn't scored. It's only been in quarter.
Mfukeng apparently is wanted by Barcelona right now.
We're hearing those rumors.
Lemasi is saying, what's that for now?
We're hearing those rumors.
So how are you going to motivate him now?
This is more motivation.
What do you mean?
Show Barcelona exactly what you're capable of.
There's 2 more weeks to go till the window opens.
Exactly.
So
it's now or never. He's aware. He knows he needs to go there to shine. So Mfukeng to score a brace on this game.
Okay, sharp.
Mfukeng to score a brace on this game.
We'll take your bet. It's accepted.
Guys, you heard. Let's hear what you have to say on the comment. Mfukeng is scoring a brace on this game. And now on to our second and final game. That is Mamelodi Sundowns. The sky is lemon. Abafana of style. Kabuyelo.
Yebo.
Who will be hosting Raja Casablanca.
Yebo.
Are you aware, Mo, that Mamelodi Sundowns and Raja Casablanca have never met in an official game?
You know, the only reason why you are saying that is because I want to Bakhaleli why did
I think people confuse Raja Casablanca.
Yeah, it's like City and United. I think for many South Africans when they heard Casablanca, they were happy because they thought Urulan is coming home.
Exactly.
But Urulan no man was what? It was the other one, Raja Casablanca.
Speaking of Umangoba, hey,
no.
We're hearing, I mean, what's the news latest? Umangoba Faith has departed from Mamelodi Sundowns. What's your opinion on that? Did you see it coming? Oh, it came as a shock. How will Sundowns play with a new coach? I mean, we heard that Sundowns has signed a new coach by the name of Miguel Caruso. And that same Miguel Caruso played in the CAF Champions League. That is a 23-24 season. Unfortunately, he lost in the final against Al-Ahly. He was coaching Esperance. Do you think Sundowns went with that thing of this guy, he's got experience in the CAF Champions League, he's recently played a final, and he can take Sundowns all the way to the final?
I think diplomatically, this is the best thing that could have happened. Because you look at Europe, right? Europe's top clubs, Europe's top footballing countries, their coaches are rotating. If you say European top 5 leagues, it's Germany, England, Spain, Italy, and France. If you look at the top coaches in the world in terms of European football, Pep Guardiola is coached in the German, Spanish, and English top flight. Jose Mourinho, see, I'm saying Jose Riviero. Jose Mourinho is coached in Spain, England, Turkey now. He's also coached in Italy, right? You're looking at Jürgen Klopp, Germany, England. You're looking at Thomas Tuchel, Germany, England. You understand? So what's happening in South African football, as Africans, we should embrace it. Because no longer is South African clubs jumping Africa and going to Europe and knocking on the doors and saying, one coach, I go third division. You understand? Now they are knocking on African doors. The same way Morocco knocked on our door and said, we want your South African child to come coach one of the best clubs in our country. Now we are knocking on competitors and saying, Tunisia, that man is doing something special. Bring him here. We have the resources to complement him. We should be celebrating as Africans, because this is now showing that as Africa, we're starting to unite. Our football is starting to gel together. You understand? It's something to celebrate.
Come on. Are we running away from the facts that this guy is actually from Portugal? He's from Europe.
Well,
I mean, he coached.
Yes, he's from Europe
for that single season.
Yes, he's from Europe. But for once, we are celebrating his CV. Yogutudlale Africa.
Okay.
You understand? We're not jumping city. He played third division. You say Spain. Simtata from the third division Azela, because we played UEFA Pro. We are saying he was in the final of CAF Champions League.
Okay.
And therefore, we think he has the pedigree to take Sundowns to the same place. When you look in the past, has that been the case? Because most of these coaches have arrived with CVs that they coached in Brazil to 2002. You understand? Here I coached. Now we are saying, no, as long as you've done it locally, it's something to celebrate. It shows you now, Uti, our perspective on how football is played on the continent has changed. No longer are we looking abroad. In fact, no longer are we looking at achievements abroad, beyond our own waters, and saying that's what it takes to conquer Africa. Because those coaches who are here in Africa, you understand, they've proven, Uti, no, you can't come do it in Africa and UEFA Pro. You understand? And that's something that I think maybe is not been mentioned enough to say we need more of that. We need a new Rulani to come into Rulani's shoes. You understand? We can't say Mangoba is the new Rulani. No, it doesn't look like that. Mangoba has had a career. We need somebody from... We haven't seen him yet. Apu Mego second division like South Africa. Come show us how it was done in the PSL. Then we must send him to Africa. Because the problem is...
Can the real Mo come back?
No, listen.
Can the real Mo come back?
We're being political. Give me a second.
Okay.
What it creates is a backlog. You see Mfokeng. Mfokeng must leave January. Not good saying good Melavai. He can always come back and fortify his legacy at Orlando Pirates. But we need another CAF Champions League winner. You understand? If he goes to Barcelona, he's in proximity to the trophy already. You understand? So the reason I'm saying that is that when he leaves, another Mfokeng will come in. Right now, there's a Mfokeng who's playing maybe even better, who can't get a chance because Mfokeng will call. You understand? Right now, there's a Mukwena who's playing exceptionally well. He can't get into the team because Mkwenu will call. You understand? The more we export players, the better our football becomes. Brazil at some point, I remember I was Googling how much is the Brazilian footballing community, because every time, let's say you go to transfer market to Fabinho, by 10. Want to Coutinho, by 10. Mazinho, 10. You understand? The reason you need to learn to export these players. Like South African rugby, Saru does that. When Saru goes to a World Cup with the Springboks, they play against England, there's 3 South Africans there. They play against Australia, there's 4. They play against New Zealand, there's 2. They play against Ireland, there's 5. So the magic in this thing is, let's get these boys good enough to export. And then from there, we have ourselves something that works.
I'm glad you've seen the lights. When I said that,
Not been saying that.
When I said that, you against
You never said that. You just remember me saying it.
Hey. Okay. To our viewers, go back to the round tables we've had. Go back to our past videos and listen what Mo had to say. And listen what I had to say. I'm listening to a different Mo. But look, I mean, okay, now, Sundowns, the new coach. I mean, Sundowns, yes, they're without a win in this Champions League. But to be fair, they haven't lost a game. So they're still in great course. Sundowns now, they face uThidsha Casablanca, and they're home. What are we expecting? Do we expect a different Sundowns from the Sundowns we saw in the previous game against Farabat?
I think we do. Remember, it was just last week. I think we were sitting right here when we were playing against Farabat. When I said to you that Sundowns, the players are just too familiar with this coach.
Okay.
Everything's too familiar with this coach. He's not going to implement his system the way he wants to because everyone is familiar. And in fact, we should bring that clip back where I said, Wuti, they needed new blood. And I even said that Jose Riviero would have been the perfect coach to lead Sundowns. Correct. And then 1 week later, they sacked the coach to get a new one. Maybe they're also watching the channel.
Yeah, they're watching the channel. But however, Umangoba, as much as Umangoba was sacked, I think he will be proud knowing Wuti he left Sundowns on the number 1 spot.
Yeah, but how did he do it? Because
Sundowns, but they have one lose.
But you know one thing I looked at when there was never a time where I saw a smile on Mangoba's face even after a win.
Except when they beat Chiefs.
Except when they beat Chiefs. And it always made me wonder, is this guy in the mindset or is this guy comfortable in Spansaki? Is there something happening in the background that we are not privy to that keeps reminding him of Ubambela interim? Because in South African football, there's no such thing as an interim coach. It's like government, but you are actor. Our guy acting allowance, but you are actor much. But you do the job. So Mangoba, at the end of the day, I think he also needed a break from Sundowns. He's been the only constant for the longest time. Yes, then every time Sundowns needs a new head coach, while they try to make up their minds, he's there. When they decide, okay, no, we want Rulani, they demote him, they put Rulani there. If they decide, okay, Rulani's just left, okay, that's a promoter, but we're going to get 2 more new coaches outside. Then they get those 2 more new coaches. You are the head coach, these are your assistants. So he needs to leave that environment because I think that environment is toxic for him specifically. And the coach he was before he joined Sundowns is still there.
True. And there are many teams in the PSL that can actually benefit a lot.
Exactly, from hiring this guy. And trust me when I say to you, if you give him 2 more seasons, he'll come back even stronger. I think for me, if he watches this channel, I think my advice to him would be take a break. Let the season just pass you guy one. Indlule nje season ozobuya. You need to remind yourself, Guti, this is who I am as Umangoba. This is who I am as a coach. This is what I've achieved as a coach. Then you can start your journey again. Because if you take it from where it was now, to get sacked is not an easy thing. But to get sacked and then jump right straight into the job before you go recalculate what's been happening. All of these things happen so quickly. Rolando left. Mangoba got promoted. Steve Kompela walked in. The other coach, Baka Coach Amazulu, walked in. And then Chigi, you're sacked. And then the guy from Tunisia comes in. He's now the head coach when it was social ending. You understand? The question is, would they probably have said demote if the other coach from Amazulu didn't come in? They would have maybe said to him that it is demote sifaka lomchita pezgo akovie. And maybe that's what happened and that's why he left. But he needs to go sit down and recalculate.
It's going to be interesting to see Mamelodi Sundowns when they play Raja Casablanca. The players' mood at camp. Or what do you think their feelings like? Do you think they're excited about having a new coach? Or are they nervous? Or what's happening? Do you think the players actually sabotaged Umangoba? No matter was one of those things whereby you're trying to give instructions, but your instructions are not being properly heard.
Yeah, no. Look, at this level of football, we know the players hold the keys. So, like I said, if he's too familiar, if the players miss Rulani, they will tell because they know you for years. But the reality is that now, with a new coach coming in, yes, there'll be players that are excited. There'll be players that feel like they wanted another coach. You understand? There's too many things going on. But we should have known something was going on when they started saying Upeni was going to be the new head coach in the rumors.
We spoke about this.
We spoke about it
last week or 2 weeks back.
Yeah. So I just think that it's best for everyone involved. The club, the players, the coaching staff, for a new man to come in with a new philosophy, with a new building mentality. It's also fantastic for the fans. Because for the first time now, Sundowns fans can say, we are rebuilding Mabaluz. Because for the longest time...
they have reason not to get the maximum results.
Because the thing is, with Mangoba there, they felt like it was the same team. And that was the problem. Mangoba just represented, still the same party. Just that Uzban Manpumil, we toilet, no. I mean,
okay, we look here. Coach has been introduced this week. Sundowns is playing Raja Casablanca on Sunday. That same Raja Casablanca that doesn't have a win in this tournament.
Yeah.
Do we give Coach Miguel Godoso time, or from the word go we're expecting the results?
Gee, this
so
like,
3 points already.
This is like taking over a Bayern Munich. This is like taking over a Manchester City. This is like taking over a Liverpool. Hey, Chief, you're not here. Go to smell go to know these players don't work for me. Hey, these players work, Chief. We want the result this weekend.
So Sundowns must get 3 points already from the World Cup.
Gapa, you're home. First game at home.
Mhm.
Raja is now knocking at you have to come back with all 3 points.
You look at what's that team? My name are Union.
Yeah.
They drew against Sundowns. Sundowns was playing home.
Yeah.
And for my opinion, they slightly weaker than Raja Casablanca. Do you think Sundowns being the first game under a new coach, do you think a draw would benefit them?
Nah. A win, Baba.
Straight win.
Only a win. I think if he doesn't come back with a win here, because don't forget, the mandate that got him hired is the CAF Champions League.
Correct.
How do you sack a coach who's top of the league?
Tough.
Because kanjani?
They did the same thing with Rulani.
Obviously I'm tshela ukuthi ifethu ngathi ke CAF ayenzi zona. Awethe tsona da Brian. And khalero uthipa. No tlo tsamaya. So that's exactly why. So obviously dog. With all due respect, Sundowns is not really worried about what happens in the league. Whether it's Pirates and them fighting it off, it doesn't matter. What matters is its competition.
Champions League.
And that's what the mandate is. So now they're saying to Mangoba, I need to gegile wathi, hey, MTN 8, hey, ngenkhona we win. So gegile, Makesi, calling knockout. Hey, no, hey. Manje ku CAF, ngathi uyahluleka. And it's a cup. You've lost 2 cups already. And you said, no, but if you look at last season, we were still at the same point. But we've lost 2 cups. Leon, we're not willing to leave in a group stage. We're one of the biggest teams in Africa. We need to make it out of this group. Why would they go hire someone who was in the final of the CAF Champions League? It's all about this competition. So he knows, whatever language they were talking, Portuguese, English with the translator, we don't know. But the reality would be, Chief, you're coming in, you better get us out of this group. You better get us into the knockout. It's not non-negotiable. We'll buy whatever you need in January, even if you say, Ofuna bani somthola. But make sure you deliver. You deliver.
And to be honest, I think Sundowns has everything that they need to make it through to next round, even to win this tournament.
And the thing is, I knew once they played Farabart that if they came back, remember I even said to you last week, I'm like, they're not going to come back with a win. I was sitting here saying Sundowns fans must just prepare themselves mentally.
You even said Rabat was going to win, or the best Sundowns can do was a draw.
Exactly.
Well, they fought hard for a draw. I mean, I thought the draw was a great result. I mean, personally, I've been saying Mangoba is feeling big shoes there, and
exactly.
he won't last at Sundowns. But for him to be sacked at this point, I mean, he's taken Sundowns back to number 1. He's yet to lose a game, the Champions League.
It's the same thing I was saying about the previous group when we were talking about Orlando Pirates. El Ahly knows the CAF Champions League. They know what games to risk, what games not to risk. Right now, this is a very risky position to be in. The difference between El Ahly and Orlando Pirates is that they're sitting about 4 points to 3 points clear of the team at the bottom. Right now, Sundowns is sitting how many points clear of the team at the bottom? 1 point. They're sitting level on points with the team below them, which is Union. They're sitting 2 points behind Rabat. So if Rabat wins their next match, they fail to win this match and they get a draw. That gap is open. Which means that now Raja is sitting in a good position. They can still. They're not
too worried. They're not too worried.
But the reality is that there's a dangerous position to be sitting in, especially with a four-team group. You need to turn it around, and that's why they made the big decision to say, "Etwana, ngeke ufike." You've already exhausted all the games you could mess up. Yes, then if you messed up against Rabat away, you can fix it at home. You understand? Correct. But if you messed up against Union at home, how are you going to fix it away? So obviously it has to do with this. This is what made the decision. CAF Champions League.
Yeah. Guys, you're hearing more. He's got a lot to say about Mamelodi Sundowns and their new coach. Now let me put his head on the block. Prediction time for this game. Sundowns is home.
Yeah. I think the new coach is going to throw the kitchen sink at it. New players, he's excited now. Yes, then. Like I said about Mangoba last time we were sitting here, because you know the players, because you know them personally, so some players you won't use because last time you know what I mean? So now it's a matter of it's a new coach. He's excited now. He's looking at Riviero like, oh, I've got Riviero there. Yo, I've got Reines.
I got Allende.
I got Allende. I got Mkwena. So he's excited. He's gonna come in. I think we're gonna see a team that we've never seen before. Not in terms of the names on the team sheet, but I think with the energy going forward, I think he's gonna throw. Look, I think if you've ever seen Sundowns play taking football, you have not seen them play it like they're gonna play it this weekend. They're gonna throw the kitchen sink at it. I think, honestly speaking, they'll concede a few goals because they won't be worried about
Concede.
Yeah, I think
You forgot who's keeper for Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah, I think they'll concede 1 or 2, maybe a corner, set piece kind of situation, but they'll throw the kitchen sink going the other way. And look, when you put your resources going forward, you create gaps at the back for your opponent. So let's not think that it's a one-way street. So I think Sundowns win. I'm not sure about the goals, but I'm pretty sure it's a Sundowns win.
Sundowns win. No, goals. Over 1.5, over 2.5.
I think goals in this game.
You saw the goal by Reyners last week.
Yeah.
That strike, that volley by Reyners. Someone's scoring form.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Shadu Lupegi, listen, I want to do something similar.
Yeah.
You have Sales. Sales started off bad, but he managed to get a...
You're talking about a coach who was watching this team play against young Africans last season. You're talking about a coach who's seen these guys coming, or
and he was there in the tournament
He was there in the tournament also. He was looking to meet these guys in the final.
Ash. Ne?
Things didn't go according to plan.
No, so what are we saying? In a nutshell, Sundowns did well.
Who knocked Sundowns out of the Champions League last season? Was it not Esperance?
Sundowns. Esperance. Yeah, it was Esperance. Remember they beat Young Africans narrowly?
It was Esperance.
It was Esperance.
Yeah, it was Esperance. I was thinking of it that way, Vel.
And you know who was coach again?
Who?
Miguel.
Yeah.
Miguel knocked Sundowns out, now he's coming to coach Sundowns. So in a way, he sees potential in Sundowns. He knows what Sundowns is capable of.
What a tender, Chief. What a tender. Imagine what guy tender. But he is the one who beat Sundowns by 2 goals.
Yeah, he's the one who beat Sundowns. But I think, to be fair, for him to do well, he must fix the players' mentality. Yeah. Psychological.
No, but
if you look at Sundowns is complete. It's just that the players' attitude. They don't have that step that they had.
But like I said, it was a new face. All they needed was a new face.
And now they have exactly that.
Now they have that. It's like let's say, you've known this guy your whole life. Doesn't work like that.
But yeah.
Well, you know my father. So that's what I think happened there. Because now it's the same old face, same players, but now different roles. Like, I don't know who promoted you now. You understand? Now that a new face is coming in, the players also want to prove themselves. Yeah, I'm full game time. And also the thing is, the younger players will say, hey, gap. You know what I mean? So
and if you have players who pick up the hand, you have, the likes of Okoza. Okoza has been giving game time and he's playing exceptionally well.
So now you have all of these players who are excited with a new coach. It's a chance for me to prove myself. And all this time. You understand? You can't tell a guy who's there, yeah, now that you're the new coach, push, last year, you understand? So new face, new opinions, and I think they're gonna benefit from this. It won't be a Kaizer Chiefs situation.
I see Val. You had to mention the team. I see Val. So just to get it straight, you going for Sundowns. Sundowns to take all 3 points.
Sundowns all 3 points. I think they'll win this game. They will all win this game.
Sundowns will win this game.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you heard more. Do you agree or do you disagree with what he has to say? He's saying Sundowns is taking all 3 points. Plus, they're playing home. What do you have to say? Do you agree or do you disagree? But before Sivalamo, let's do a prediction recap. We had our first game where we had Stade Abidjan playing Orlando Pirates. You said who's going to win that game?
Stade Abidjan versus Orlando Pirates. I said... What? Did I say that it was going to be a draw?
You said Pirates was going to win a narrow win.
Oh, I said Pirates was going to win a narrow win.
No,
just making sure.
A narrow win. And I said, who's going to score a brace?
You said
I said Umfuke.
Umfuke will score a
the
brace.
guy that's wanted by Barcelona.
Yeah.
And then in our last game, Sundowns versus Rasha Casablanca.
This one I said Sundowns will get all 3 points. No doubts.
Guys, you heard more. He's saying the South African teams are taking all the 6 points. That's 3 for Pirates and 3 for Sundowns. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.